continuing the civics chapter, that is chapter number 2, secularism. In this video, we are going to learn about the new topic, that is need for secularism and Indian secularism. So before we move on to this need for secularism and Indian secularism, let's have a quick recap of what we have read in the last session. We have read only the introduction and the meaning of secularism. With simple definition that secularism refers to the separation of the religion from the state. It is very important to separate the religion from the state. So this is a simple definition. We have also seen that it also refers to the belief that or religion should not be involved in the organization of a society, right children? So as we all know that India is a secular state, where all religions are treated equal in all respect. So as a citizen of India, what we have seen is everyone has the right to practice his or own religion, isn't it? So it should be equal in the eyes of law. So in short, we say that secularism refers to the separation of religion from the state. With all examples we have seen how if a person is having this religion, what are the responses you will take to them, right? That two examples we have read in the last session. So in short, that every religion has the freedom to grow and prosper in India. So this is about what we have seen, introduction and meaning. So today's topic is need for secularism and Indian secularism. So need for secularism, what it means children, why it is important to have separate religion. Why it is important to separate this religion from the state. Is it necessary or not? So due to some reasons, it is very important to have separate. So let us see the reason why it is getting separated for secularism. So the first point is democratic. It means that, see, secularism, it is very important for a country to separate religion. Why is it so? Because if there is when we separate this religion from the state, the government can function very democratically. So here democratic means what children we have seen in the last in the smaller classes. What is democracy? Democracy means what? For the people, to the people and by the people, isn't it? A government which is good for the people, to the people and by the people. So democracy acts as for equal representation of the people, where we have equality and all. In case of caste system and all. So democracy plays a very important role for secularism to separate religion from the state. So this is one of the points. Coming to next point is majority and minority. See, in our country, we have so many people, religious groups which are based on majority, and we have also different groups which is based on minority. For example, we can take in the class only. So many children are there, isn't it? Some belonging to the majority group and some belonging to the minority group. Some children are belonging to the minority and some are in majority. If we look towards the example of our India only, what we have seen, majority of the people are Hindus. So majority of the people religious group are belong to the majority. Whereas Christians, Muslims and all, they are belonging to the minority group, where the numbers are very less in this. Okay, so this is the second point which is very important for the need for secularism. Coming to next, see, suppose if majority of the group have an access or they are having a power to look after this, what they may, the majority people, they may make use of this power as well as the financial resources. So what happens? This leads to discrimination. They get the chance of the majority people to discriminate the minority people, isn't it? So next point, the state power. State power means the state power has in the hands of the religious community. What happened? This may also lead to discrimination, or we can say coercion. Coercion means what in children? When a person is forced to do something, but it is not in position to that, but we are forcing to do something, that is coercion. Or we can see even killing of a people against this discrimination. So this is another point. So this first point is democratically, majority and minority, and access to the power of the majority people. So this leads to discrimination. So because of this reason only, we want to separate the religion from the state. Likewise, secularism also protects us freedom of individual. Why is it so? For individual, freedom individual means, say, if an individual want to exist or want to exist from his religion and want to adopt a new religion, he can change his religion. Or suppose, if example, if a Hindu or a Muslim does not want to continue, does not want to belong to that religion, and he or she want to change their religion, they can adopt or they can access their religion, or they have freedom to interpret any religious teachings from them. So he or she can change a particular because of some reason they want to change it. So they can change the religion, or they want to adapt also. They have freedom to adopt that religion, right? So this is the points which we need for the secularism, to separate religion from the state. Otherwise, it will be what happened. Discrimination will arise, isn't it? So because of such conditions, for such reasons, we have to separate the religion from the state, right? Then coming to next is the Indian secularism. Say, as we are known, India is a secular state in which state means does not promote any particular religion as a state religion, right? Say, as the term secular means in the Preamble Constitution in 1976, what it states that secular means India has to be a secular country, right? And or we can say that India is a vast country with full of diversity of cultures and religions. So we say as a secular state. And certain as the Constitution of India, a secular state can achieve its objectives only by implementing these elements. Now, what are the elements here? See, first element is one religious group, community group should not dominate to the other religious community. For example, one religion community group should not dominate to the other religious community group. Example like America. See, in America, we have seen so many people are belonging to the Christian community, right? So many people are of Christian community. And so they should not dominate to the other religious group. I mean, the people who are living like Hindus and Muslims. So they should not dominate to the other religious community, right? So the other next example is some members of the same religious community should not dominate to the same religious community group. For example, see in India we have you know that majority of the people are Hindus only, right? But in Hindus we have caste system, lower caste people and upper caste people. So what the upper caste people have the full rights to have means they are having many more rights than compared to the lower people. So what they will do, they will dominate to the lower rights people. So this is one of the example which secular state objectives, elements of the secularism, Indian secularism. So they should not dominate to the other people which belong to the same community group. Then the next point is the state does not enforce any particular religion, or nor they takes away freedom of individual. For example, see, the government does not force to adopt any one particular religion. I told you in this need for a secularism that we are free to accept our practice, practice our own religions, right? So the government does not force any particular religion. They are free to adopt any religion. Right? So these are the three elements which are coming to the Indian secularism objectives. Now, next, so I think most understood these objectives or elements of the Indian secularism. So in the next video, we will see that how to achieve these objectives and how the government will ensuring to implement these objectives by following the strategy of the objectives. We have to follow the strategy to how to this government will ensure or implement these objectives. Right, children? Thank you.